We are running out of time. What are you going to do with the time you have left? I say that if you don't reposition yourself, you could miss the best time in your life, in this season of life. Because we have got to change the way we think. We have got to change the way we function. We have got to change the way we deal with issues. And the reason that you have to begin to reposition the way you think and the way you function and the way you feel is that we many times are stuck between the lines of limited thinking and limited people and limited ideas and limited philosophies. And there's something creative down inside of you saying, let there be. You need to walk into a situation where you've been locked up and tied up and tangled up and say, let there be light, let there be healing, let there be books, let there be change in this city. You have tried 4 or 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things. Each you worked on 90 days or so and then said it doesn't work. How can you be a leader with a 90-day test? Of course it didn't work. You didn't stick to it long enough. You didn't fight hard enough. You didn't do what it took to win. And rather than to correct it and get it right, you walked away from it and tried something else. And for the last 10, 15 years of your life, you've been on the run from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, trying to make all this stuff work. Stop it. Stand still. You have to have the courage to live with the pressure and the criticism. New levels bring new devils. You have to be tough. You have to be tough to be able to stand it. It's tough for keeping your kids encouraged while you secretly worried to death yourself. It's tough for getting ready for a birthday and don't have a birthday gift. It's tough of not being able to get the light bill paid and the water bill paid. It's tough. But what do we do with these moments? Do we just have them and go back home and wait for the next one? Almost like junkies getting a fix or smokers smoking a cigarette? Are we just habitually addicted to moments without being able to take that moment and use it strategically to do something in our lives? You do not have to accept it the way it is. Somewhere down inside of you there is creativity. We've got to break out of the barriers and the limitations and get outside of the box. Something is about to happen in your life. You've got to take it one day at a time. And when you get to the end of the day, you say, I'm not finished, but I've done everything that I was supposed to do for that day, for that time, for that season. Your season is shifting. You will be able to do now in a way that you have never been able to do it before. You haven't sung your best song. You haven't preached your best sermon yet. You haven't thought your greatest thought. You haven't written down your greatest idea. You haven't dreamed your best dream. Maybe you haven't laughed your best laugh. You haven't had your greatest day yet. It's somewhere inside of you. You're a miracle looking for a place to happen. You have got all kinds of things locked up inside of you that are about to come forth for such a time as this. The time is right. The stage is set. The conditions are in order. And something awesome is about to happen in your life. Don't let anybody tell you you're too young. Don't let anybody tell you you're too old. Don't let anybody tell you you're fitted. Every day you wake up in the morning, it's a sign the best is yet to come. This is my moment, and I am determined to live it. The mind is the battleground. The fight is in your mind. Are you ready for the next level? What are you going to do with the time you have left?
Hey everybody. Good morning, Jojo. How are you?
Doing wonderful. How are you, darling?
Good. You look wonderful. What's up?
Thank you. Not too much. I'm here.
You look
Just
marvelous.
taking it easy.
You look
We have to keep this thing going, girl.
well rested. Welcome has the weekend. Everybody, welcome to our live broadcast on the Let's Talk About It with Muku
Let
Table
me
Talk
share
with
this.
Josephine. And this is your host, Muku, and we have our waiting for you to introduce yourself.
Me?
Yeah.
And this is Jojo, your girl. We are here to talk on parenting. We did talk about parenting last week, but it was already short, and then we made a mistake. We had it on private. So we decided to come back and talk more about it, and those who are unable to get on because of the privacy will be able to get on or give their view about the topic today.
So, guys, don't hesitate to share our live broadcast. Don't hesitate to follow our different pages. And if you can give us a star to help people in Africa, not for our personal news, that would be appreciated. If you want to be a part of the conversation, just let us know. Definitely, we are going to have you on. So, let's see what Jojo got for us. Jojo is rolling the stone today, and we are going to talk on parenting. But before we do that, let's play this short video just to put a little spice. We don't have long time. It's just for an hour, 25, 30 minutes today. But let's just put this little clip on so you know that if you sleep on your children, you are raising a tiger. Let's just view it a little bit and then we can start.
When your children are doing the wrong thing at a tender age, don't go to sleep. Check them today. Check them now. Otherwise, when they grow up, you are rearing a monster. If you pamper your children of today, they do the wrong, you don't correct them. They do the wrong, you don't rebuke them. They do the wrong, you don't chastise them. They do the wrong, and you, the mother, you have now become a servant to your children. You, the father, you have become a servant to your children. And now you are running helter-skelter, trying to satisfy your children. And every day, whatever your children are asking for, that is what you always do. Even if you can't afford, you are struggling to do that. And your children have now become the controller of affairs in your home. Very soon, you have been rearing and taking care of a tiger. And that tiger will now grow and become a monster. And that is when you, the parent, when you are 60 years, you will see the tiger in your home. You will see the elephant in your home. You will see the poisonous python you have raised up. You thought the snake was a pet, so you were playing with it, but you didn't know that you prepare a food for your son and your child. Said, I'm not going to take this food. I need some hamburger. I need some, KFC. I need something. And then so daddy, you go and drive it and go and get it for me. And then daddy, why Johnny Walker? Back. You get into your car. Oh man, my son said he doesn't like this. Where? Who born dog? You go and pick your child from school, and for some reason you were in a business meeting or you have run late due to traffic. You get there and then your daughter is querying you, Daddy, how come you came late? You have embarrassed me. You came late. I'm not going to sit in the car. And then you two, no, I don't want. I beg you, please. I beg you, please. Go ahead. Keep on begging them. Keep on begging them. The day you realize that you have a tiger in the house, that is when you will see. When you were going to school, you were walking. Did your father have a car? Did your mother have a car? You were walking. If by the grace of God you have a car and you have run late and then your daughter had the guts to tell you, I'm not going to sit in the car. Who born dog? I am talking of a sleeping mother. When the mother slept, the baby died. When you keep on sleeping, instead of raising your children to have values, to know how to respect people, have values for respect, values for time, values for decency. When you go to sleep, you will raise up a lion, you will raise up a tigress, and eventually it will ruin your life, it will destroy your future. You have a daughter and she wears a mini skirt. to the extent that she's exposing part of her thighs, and then you, the mother, oh, me banana for she looks so cute, she looks sexy. You prepare her and dress her like a prostitute. And then when she's coming out and she's flirting around and messing up with her life, you wonder where you went wrong. When you sleep, your baby will die, your dream will die, your future will be ruined. The woman said, when I slept, they exchanged the living baby for the dead baby. And when she slept on her own baby, she killed her baby. Some of us, we are sleeping over the future of our children. We don't teach them how to respect time again. We don't teach them when they should get up. You have children and you have never given them assignment in the house, what they should be doing, the rooms they should sweep, the house they should clean, because you have people whom you have employed who are cleaning your house. So you have a child, she doesn't know how to do anything in the kitchen. She can't even use the microwave. She can't even know how to cook egg. She can't do anything. Everything, she's being served like a queen.
Okay, hello everybody. Jojo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This motivational video, there are some things that we take from there. There are some things that we done, most especially for us who live in the diaspora, when it comes to picking up your children from school and stuff like that. So the platform is yours and everybody join the conversation. Jojo, what do you have for us? Let us share the live as well.
Yeah, let us share. If you have any comments, if you want to come on, let us know. If you don't want to come on, you can write a comment on there. We will read a comment and we will discuss it. So you don't have to come on if you don't want to. But today we're talking about parenting. Like he said, we shouldn't sleep on our children. When they say don't sleep on our children, it don't matter how much the bill is. It don't matter whether we're doing double. It don't matter whether, whatever going on in our life or in our lives. We have to take care of our children. I understand that we do double. We have to do things to feed the kids. But when you are not at home, you have to do something. Pay attention to the children by either putting a camera in the house, or you have to try calling the children, or find someone to check on the children. Pay attention to your children. Tomorrow we want our children to come up better. And the way we bring them up, most of the time, that's the way they will come up. I understand that at times that we do our best to bring up our children, and later on the children come up their way. But that you will know that you did your best. So we have to look not on it, paying attention to the children, but the way we act to the children, the way we behave in front of the children, the way we behave behind the children. We have to be careful. If you want your children to be able to apologize for the wrong thing that they do, you have to be willing to apologize for the things you do, or apologize to your child when you do something wrong to your child. If you don't want your kids to be lying out there, you don't want to be a parent that making lies along with your child to just cover us on death. So we have to be careful. Our children learn most of the time by what they see us doing. So we have to be very, very careful not to sleep on our children. Muku?
Yeah, so true. And we as parents, when we have our children in the house, I think we should talk to our kids most especially about life challenging situation. Like if we have a girls, we got our daughters, there are some things that we need to talk to our children about. Let us put away this whole Liberia or African mentality, right? If you have your teenage child, 11, 12 years old, I think the right time to start talking to these children about the menses, the body, and stuff like that. A lot of times we feel that it's uncomfortable, or we feel uncomfortable talking to our kids about, things like the menses. The country in which we find ourselves in, Jojo, our children start messing at the age of 9. We even got children that messing
Yes.
at the age of 10, our
Yes.
young kids. So we need to talk to our kids about the period, most especially our girls. We need to talk to our children about boys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I always said this, there are some of us who our parents really did not have a conversation with when it comes to, our body and sexual, things. So for that reason, a lot of kids go astray not knowing. But for the country that we find ourselves in, these things are taught in the school. Sometimes our children even know more than we know about it. So we need to have a conversation with our children. We have to talk to our children. Like Josephine said that lying, telling our children to lie on behalf of us. Like sometimes we'll be like, oh, tell the person I'm not here. You got what I'm
Yes.
saying? That
Hmm.
expression, I'm not here. So your child grow up knowing that, oh, mama, it's okay to lie that, mama, these little things, these little things, trust me, can have effect on our children. So we ought to have conversation with our children. We ought to talk to them. Boys, girls. If you have a boy, you don't know a lot about boys. Like me, I don't know a lot about boys. I remember went out on one weekend and the girls were talking about, things that boys do and stuff like that. I was like, wow, I prefer to deal with the period than to deal with the other things that boys do, because I have a young son and I haven't experienced that before. You understand? So I think we as parent, we ought to pay attention to our children. See what our children are doing, Jojo, which of course is right. You talk about camera. There are some single parent in America. There are some single parent, non-resident father. All the guys taking care of the kids and the mother's not around. I remember a couple of months ago, there were a situation where two little Liberians killed each other. One person, two Liberian killed a Liberian. What was they involved in? Where did they get a gun from? You understand? We have to monitor our children. We cannot sit down and say, this is America. You can't beat the children. The same Bible says, spare not the rod and spoil the child. The
Yeah.
Bible, America says you can spank your kids. America did not say you should abuse your children. You can spank your kids. You can discipline your children. America did not say you can discipline your children. So you can't sit and say, oh, I don't want the children before they call 911. No, you cannot abuse your children. Abuse me, bruise them, brutalize them. You understand? But you got the right to discipline your kids.
Yep. And
Mhm.
what Gatekeeper Decanty, welcome. Jay Chris, welcome. Sarah, welcome. Welcome to the show. And
Says
you can
walk it. Says walk it, welcome.
yeah, I'm not seeing Wookie, so I don't
Mhm.
know on my screen. But anyways, again, a lot of us say we want to bring our children up the African way, the way we were brought up, which is wonderful. The way we were brought up, there are some good parts and there are some bad parts. So we have to remember it is better for us to take the good parts and teach our children or bring our children up that way and lead the bad part. There were a lot of ways some of our parents brought up were very tough or abusive, as we can call it now. So we have to be very careful the way we bring our children up. Now, if you're as a parent, just because we are parents doesn't mean we cannot wrong our kids. When you wrong your kid, don't just brush it up. You know you wrong and you just brush it off. As a parent, if you wrong your kid, you should be able to go to your kid and apologize for what you did and tell them sorry for what you did. By you doing that will not take away that parenting or will not make you not to be the mom or the dad. If you are a parent who wrong your kid, the kids know, they understand, they know when you wrong them. If you are a kid who wrong a parent who wrong your kid, and you never tell them sorry, you are teaching the kids to not apologize for their wrongdoing. So when you do something to the kid and you know later on you realize that it was wrong, you need to come to them and explain to them why you did it and you know it's wrong and tell them sorry for what you did. But a lot of the time we feel like we are very, oh, what, please, I'm your mom, what? I did this, so I'm my dad, what? No. If you do that, you are teaching your kids to come up in a way where when they are wrong tomorrow, they shouldn't apologize for their wrongdoing.
Yes, let me say something. Like you were saying, right? We need to stop lying to our children. We just don't want to like have a conversation. When you talk about lying to our children, sometimes I'm guilty about that. I'm guilty to the point that sometimes I my daughter will ask me something and I'm like, no, I didn't do it because I don't want to go into that, or I don't want her to feel that I did it and she feel bad about it. And I would say, oh, I don't know, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, and just wipe it off. And she'll text me, Mommy, you didn't have to lie to me. See there? Mommy, you
Wow.
didn't have to lie to me. Then I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to talk about it. Like Jojo said, we need to talk to our children. We need to talk to our boys. We need to talk to our girls in order to prevent teenage pregnancy, in order to prevent teenage different things, Our boys. We need to talk to our boys for, like I said, for me, I don't have a boy that is grown that at that point, but I have daughters that I have spoken to. I have daughters that there are certain things that arises that I could not talk to them about, and they came to me. Guess what I did? I seek an advice. I went to somebody who was older and said, listen, how can I talk to this child about this, as a parent, as a young parent? So definitely we need to communicate with our children, and we need to discipline our children, guys. I know this is America. We need to monitor our kids. I remember somebody told me a story. She said, Vic, I'm in the house with my son. I go to work and leave my son at home. Every time I come home, my house smell a weed. I'm wondering if it's my neighbor, but I have never seen that. How would my neighbor be in the house smoking and all the way outside, or home? It's not like you're in an apartment next door. So she said, this time she decided, well, I will see what's going on. Right there, she was proactive, right? She became active. She just did not wipe it away like, oh, whatever. She put security camera in her house. Jojo. She said one day she said not to work, her son on the table playing with something. You know how to be fixing that thing, putting it and wrapping it. She said, and he was smoking. So she didn't say nothing. When she got home, she never said a word to him about it because she already have seen him on the camera. She decided to go in his room. And when she went and checked behind his bed, he got the weed he was selling. That's how she managed to know what her son was into. If we sleep on our children, we are raising a tiger. Our kids
Yeah.
go to school. They join the gangs. How many of us as parents want our children? Let's talk about mothers. Obviously, we always involve with our kids. Let's talk about daddy. Daddy, come and defend yourself. Even if the child is not living with you, you are non-resident father and you are involved. How many times do we tell our children, how was school today? Do we need to talk about anything? Or how many times your kids come and say, this person did this to me and we wipe it? Or, oh, you like to complain too much. We need to listen to our children. Peer pressure are killing our African children in this country. Peer
Yep.
pressure are killing our children. Our children are going to jail, Jojo,
Yes.
because our parents, our fathers, there are men who are not even a father, they are just sperm donor. They just donate the children and move from there and don't want to take responsibility, to the point that even if the woman takes them for child support, they take against the children. Oh, she already taking money for my children, I'm supporting my children. How many parents talk to the children? How many parents are involved? How many parents will call the child or the children and say, how was your day? Even if they are grown. How you doing? How's work going? How's everything? There's anything you need to talk about, Jojo.
Yep. A lot of us, we only want to talk to the children when they do wrong. We have to pay attention to the children. We still have to see their movement. We have to see their facial expression. So tomorrow, when something going on, you'll say, my daughter or my son, you showed it this way. Or why is he acting that way? Or why is she acting that way? We have to pay attention to the children. We want the children to be loving. We want them to be caring. You have to show love to the children by giving them hugs, kisses, smiling, you know, the good that they do, their grace. Talk about the good, not only the bad. Our parents only talk about the bad. You have to compliment the kids on the good things that they do. So tomorrow, when they do the wrong thing, when you're talking about it, they will understand, yeah, my mom always happy when I do now. My mom or my dad don't like this particular thing that I'm doing. And when you pay attention to the children, body movement or facial expression or the way they act. There are times a lot of us now we allow our children to go to their friends for visit, sleep over. You have to pay attention. When your child come home, you have to see if they're smiling, if they're happy, how they acting. A lot of things go on there. You want to see if your child gonna just come and slide in their room. You want to see if the little bit quiet. You have to pay attention to every sign. Now there are a lot of divorce going on, and a lot of the disrespect come from the split homes. Okay, a lot of us we feel like okay, me and the man were married or we were together, we're not together anymore. Now the man have another woman, and not because you don't like him, maybe you think that the woman or the man, the other person stole the other person from the other person. Now you don't want your kid to respect the other parent. Now the way you would treat your child because you want your child to be disrespectful to the other parent, and you think it's okay because you feel that other parent stole your man or your woman from you. Remember that when you're telling the child to be rude to the other mother or to the other father, that child not only going to continue doing it to that person, that child going to do it to you, and that child also going to take it to the school. So if you and someone not together and you know and the parents you guys split, always make the child got to respect the other parent. And a lot of the time, that's what's going on. Oh, don't call that woman mom. She's not your mom. Oh, don't call her auntie. She's not your auntie. Oh, what she told you to do, don't do it. Look, those things, the children here, you're teaching them, they're going to do it. They're going
Yes,
to
and
disrespect you tomorrow.
yes, and before we proceed, let's just recognize our viewer a little bit, Sis Joe. Sis Joe. So we got Dagonti, the housekeeper, the gatekeeper, said she made it on time today. We had Chris Jerry. He said very impressive. We have Sis Wookie. She said good morning, blessing, beautiful ladies. We had Rhoda Hoff. She said good morning, ladies. And we have Sis Josephine True. We do need to apologize to our kids when we wrong them, so they can learn from us. Definitely. And Sis
Yep.
Monique Walker said good morning, ladies. Good morning to you as well. They learn so much from their peers, and we have to continually communicate, even at, at, and even the most uncomfortable situation. I'm sorry, guys. Even the most uncomfortable situation, we have to. And Sia say good morning. Good job, sister. Good morning. Thank you, sis, as well. And send the link. I want to join John, briefly, definitely, I will be able to send the link to you. Just give me a couple of minutes here. So, yeah, like as I was saying, Jojo, one thing I think we should, as parents, we should always learn to listen to our kids, like you said, right? And sometimes our children come home from school and say, "Mommy, this person did this," or "Daddy, this person did this to me. This person said something to me." I always like to talk from experience. You understand? Camille had always come, growing up before she reached the age. This person say I'm ugly. They're talking about me. They say I'm staying. You know how kids can be in school in America here and be an African. They will be calling you a bully strasher and whatever. They will call you names. So every time she comes, I call the school and I say I want to talk to the principal. I will complain. Oh, we will take care of it. We will take care of it. I said, okay. So one day, a couple of years ago, she and her dad decided to take a walk. I'm just trying to open our eyes to this, right? So while she and her dad was walking on the street, then she showed her a mark on her hand. I'm not kidding. She showed a mark on her hand to her dad. She said, "Daddy, you see this mark? You see right here this vein?" Her dad said, "What?" "Because they were calling me ugly at school, I wanted to kill myself." You can imagine that in her room, in my home. What would have become of me knowing that because of bullying my child at school, and maybe she feel that I did not take a step against it. So this is what happened. So definitely I take it very serious. One day she called on the basketball team and said they were talking about her. This that thing broke my heart. I woke up that morning 7:30. I called the school. "Can I speak to the principal?" They said, "Hold on." They kept me on hold. When I told them, I said, "You know what? I'm on my way to the school. I will vent." That's how the principal came on and had a conversation, and he handled this case. We need to listen to our children, even if they're whining too much, they're complaining. Listen and investigate. So, Jojo, I turn it over to you while I share the link with
And one of the things we have to do before we even get to that bullying thing, when you're bringing your children up, you want to explain to them.
you. Hmm.
Because this is the world we live in. These things going to continue to happen. And we're not going to be there all the time to fight for them. And whenever our children talk to us, no matter how easy we think the thing look like or hard, it's not nothing, we still have to look into it. But you want to put your children down and make them to understand. That's what I talk about love. You want to tell your children how beautiful they are, how smart they are. You want to make them to understand that this world is wicked, that people will tell you bad things. People will tell you you're ugly. You're not ugly, but they just want to say something to you that will make you mad or feel bad about yourself. You have to educate your children to prepare them to get into this war. Because, of course, your kids don't have to be ugly for someone to tell them they're ugly. People will just say that. You have to prepare your children. I will say my children from small. I tell my children all the time.
You are
So when my
beautiful.
children go
You are
out
sweet. Yeah.
there and tell them that people might tell you this, they will say you this, you this, you that. But this is this. You are beautiful.
They
When
just
someone
want to
says
be.
that to you,
They
they
just
just
want to be
want to
like
say
you. They want to be like you.
exactly.
They
So my
cannot be
children
like
know
you.
that. So even when they hear and if someone says something to them, they come, when they're telling me, they're even smiling about it. Oh, mommy, but Tavina is good for that. Oh, this boy telling me, oh, you ugly. I was like, oh, no. You know what you say. I make them so prepared that when people out there tell them anything, they tell them what they have to tell them in a respectful way. And when they come to me, they just, talk about it. We laugh about it. A lot of the things that come up, you have to let the children prepare because not all the time we will be bothering. I'm not saying when it comes to you, you cannot go. It's always good for you to talk about it. And all the kids are not the same. Some of them are shy and they are not able to stand up for themselves. But so that's why every time they bring something, maybe you think it's easy. No, you always have to look into it just the way you did, my sister, by going and trying to, then the child would know that, yeah, my parents, there for me.
Jojo, I just sent the link. Daconte, I just sent the link to you. You can check your inbox. Let's read. Someone, welcome. Someone has a comment. We African believe that a parent is never wrong, which is not true because we parent can wrong our children. Definitely.
Yes, you are so right.
Josephine said that.
You are so
Josephine
right.
said
And
that.
one of the things I can come up with is one of the things that parents do, and I see a lot of people doing it. Life and death lies on the tongue. You have to be very careful with the words that you take out when you are mad at your kids. No matter what your children do, no matter how they misbehave, you got to be careful with the words you use on your kid. And at time we get ready, angry, and we say a word. When the word comes out of your mouth and you know it is a mean word, right there you need to correct yourself and
And
apologize.
apologize.
When your child, you're too damn stupid, you will not grow up. That is very wrong for the parent to tell their child that.
Mhm.
You will be nothing. Look at you, you useless. Those are bad words. Those are curse on our children. When you mad, you got to be very, very careful with the words you use. And if you ever because you are the parent, you have to correct yourself right there. Oh, I'm sorry for saying that you are dumb. You are not dumb. I'm very sorry for using that word. I'm already angry. I said it, but sorry. You don't call your children names, no matter how angry you are. Look at you. That your useless part. You'll be useless to your part. Like your dirty mom. She don't know how to clean up. You'll be dirty. Look at you.
Like
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
like me looking for my glasses after I got my glasses on my face for 5 minutes. Malika, look on the dresser and right there. You tell her your pa, you can't look for nothing. He said, Mommy,
Wrong,
it's around your face.
wrong. And the Liberians, the African, we do it a lot. And tomorrow when you see, you will be useless. Tomorrow when you see your daughter or son sleeping all over there, you wonder why. It's the curse. The word from your mouth are the words are very powerful when you throw it out there, especially the one that comes from under your belly. You are cursing and putting curse on your kids. And the words can be a curse that will lead them into it. So when you say the words, you better start rebuking your mouth for saying the words. I pass it second to you. Can go ahead.
Good morning, big sisters. How you doing? Can y'all
Good
hear me?
morning, Becca. We can hear you live and clear, girl.
Okay. This is such an important topic. Like, if we all get together and do this all the time, not only do it right here, but reinforce it in our communities, right? Oh, plenty of the problem that we're facing will be solved. It is literally a big issue that we gotta, I don't know, for those not, and you don't, parenting doesn't mean that you have to be a biological parent.
Mm-mm.
But if you serve as any kind of role model in a person's life, that is
Mhm,
such a high place that God has put you.
mhm.
You know, it is beyond just what we see as physical. There's a spiritual, just like Sister Jojo, you saying the words we speak into these children's lives that we don't even realize what we're the seeds we're planting, right? And why it's so important. I only got about 10 minutes there. I gotta go.
Mhm.
But I figured I joined in this morning. Since I sent you a chart, did you see it? Looking, I sent you a chart in your
Yes.
box. I
Mhm.
wanted to just talk on it a little bit. And then
Mhm.
because y'all are hitting all those things, right? All
Mhm.
the things that are important for us to talk about with our children.
So what you do? Go ahead and be talking. I will put it on the screen, but it will take a little time. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, my role a lot of times I'm a teacher in a sense, right? I gotta teach people. I teach young women, I teach young men, but then I teach parents also, you know. When you find out there's so much issues in the home that is pouring into schools, they send their children to us, they send their families to us, right? So where we got to teach them how to, I don't think anyone can necessarily teach a person how to be a parent, but give people tools. And that's what we're doing this morning. That's what two of you are doing this morning, right? Giving tools, giving support to each other to say, hey, the tininka will handbook, but this is what has been tried before and it has not seemed to be effective. Let's try another way. And, um, like for example, my own personal life, and I like that we can do that here where we share our personal experiences, right? I came up with what my parents knew as parenting, right? So my first child, oh God, I child went through it, and I had to learn along the way of how to change my parenting style, how to change my communication style with her, to even to a point where I think she was sixth grade. Oh, that child gave me my own rocking hair and all kind of thing. But I was exposed to what is called a behavioral contract, right? Because I'm working in the school system here, I am signing behavioral contract with these children. And I'm sitting here like, I'm taking this stuff home. So I took the behavioral contract home with her literally to say, we have issues in these areas, cleaning your room, doing, X, Y, and Z. And I said, let's come up with a behavioral contract. Me and you will write it, my sister. When I've spoken to you about 3, 4 times about our room being clean and it's not clean, what do you think is an acceptable consequence? You know, what you will find that the children are even more harder on themselves when they come up with their own consequence than you were thinking. But we did that, and I signed it, she signed it. And because she had input and a say in it, she felt respected. And when the consequences came, she didn't fight them because she knew that they were there. She knew what was coming to her, right? Because this is something we had discussed, not in a time when we both were heightened, in a sense that I pissed because I tell you 5 times to clean the room, I came by here, the room still like this, and she's feeling anxious and frustrated, right? But in a time when, like you said, when you're just talking with your kids, having these conversations, that's when we came out with a behavioral contract. That changed a whole lot. And then I took it a step further. On our little dates that we used to do, then I started asking, let's do grading. Grade me as a mom. Oh, the day my daughter gave me C, I almost fainted. Because in my mind, I'm a darn good
Yeah,
parent.
100%.
When she gave me the C, I almost wanted to jump back to the old things that I know. But when I listened to her, she said, Mommy, for one, you yell too much. You gotta bring that yelling down. It was not to say she was insulting me. And you know that why I wanted us to really look at the chart that I sent. I talk about parenting styles that I happen to be able to use as a skill to teach people who are sent to me, right? But let's just look. I'm not saying that you're a good parent, you're a bad parent, but let's just look at these four styles of parenting and see which one you currently operate off of and why it's not effective. And let's explore some that you think is where you should be going with your child to get the results you want, right?
Yeah.
That's simply my role. My role is not to tell you you're a bad parent, you're a good parent. No. My role is to let's explore and let's see. If the problems you're having now coming from this parenting style, maybe you need to look at other parenting styles and see what you can learn from there and incorporate your own. Since whenever
Before
you
we get
got it,
into another topic, when she's done, can we just read the comments from our audience just to get them in before we go into another stuff? Just take a break from us and the audience. Muku, because I
Yes.
can see
Okay.
some of you.
Okay. Okay. Let me post the comments. Okay. Summer here saying using words on our children can create low self-esteem in our children, which of course
You're
I
right.
agree with. And then Monique Walker say, so true, Josephine. Stupid is a word that some parent use when they are upset, of
Yep.
course. And then we have Walker says here we need to speak life over our
Amen.
even if they are walking in wrong direction.
Amen.
Wrong. Yeah, and then what children observe at home can also play a part in their children behaviors, of
Yes.
course. And then we say, Basam, I say good morning, yeah. Yeah, and that's
Yep.
it. Welcome everybody. Just continue commenting if you want to suggest to us or just want to say something. We are open to doing that as well.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And then, a lot of the time as parents, we put this fear in our kids that our kids are not able to communicate with us. And a lot of the African, yes, we do that. And we need to stop because you don't want your daughter or your son to have a best friend out there, which is somebody mom or somebody father, to be the one to talk to, not you. You have to be able to make the children comfortable in a sense that when they're mad or something that they want to say to you about you, they should be able to say. My daughter would tell me, Mom, that thing you did yesterday, you just did it. I wanted. She would tell me, my kids, I make them to be able to talk to me.
mhm,
Okay. And
mhm,
even if there is something I know I do, the quiet about, I say, what do you think? They want to, I say, no, you can tell me. It's okay. We can talk. I might not like what you said to me, but it'll be okay for you to talk so we can talk about it. So we have to stop putting fear in our children and making another person to be their best friend than us. You want to be your kid's best friend and you want to be the parent. The only time you try to slow down that best parent thing, when the child try to go other hand and you can lay down the friendship and say, you know what, I'm just going to be the parent here until we take that place where we can be parent and friend again. But a lot of us, we put fear in our kids and we really need to stop doing that. You guys have anything about that fear thing that we put on with our kids, and the kids not even able to express themselves?
I want to add, but I wish it more if you can get the
No,
chart
I
up
got
there.
it. I got it. Don't worry. I'll
Okay,
keep going
one
on. I
thing
was
you
so
just
posted.
talking about it in that chart, right? And I just want to
Mm-hmm.
let's look at the four parts of this chart. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, everything we're talking about is right in that chart, right? And
Mm-hmm.
to see, and again, it's not to say you're good parent, you're bad parent, but all of us sometimes let's just
Yes, every
reflect
one of
on
us. Yep.
our behaviors and how we interact with our children. You will naturally see where you fall on your chart, on the
Mm-hmm.
chart, and then you will see, maybe I need to shift myself over here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And like you said, sometimes you need to get into a stance where, for now, I have to do this. When you will earn back this space, when you come back into earning this back and forth thing, but you have lost that right now.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
cool. Go ahead, Jojo.
another thing that Of course, in America here, we work so hard and there is so much going on. A lot of parents are taking away the children youth or the children being children. We make the children to become the parent in the home. We need to stop. Okay, I'm not saying that the children cannot do things in the home or around the house, but you can have that child like the mom or the dad in the house picking up everything, doing everything. That is wrong. Some of us we rather not letting the children to be children because we feel we have to wear this double, or because we don't want to clean, we don't want to do this. Yes, the children should clean. They should see us cleaning too, and we
Oh,
encourage
you
them.
hit it. You
You
hit
know,
that
you
right
can
on the
just have
nail.
the children doing everything in your home. That's your home. Take
And you
care of
know,
your home and let the children help you with your home. Some of us we rather take away the children being children, and we need to stop.
sis, this brings to me a past experience I had, right? Where my partner in the home, this particular issue brought so much rift in a sense, right? Because I operated off a chore chart, right? That man said, yeah, I on that chore chart. The tasks were rotated. Bathroom, I put myself there someday.
Mhm.
And when I included him in this is how we do things, it was considered the greatest disrespect. I'm the father, you making the children, making me equal to the children when you do that. And it's like my thing is children see, somebody said it, see by example. Someone wrote that earlier, right? Children learn from example. If you're not willing to do certain things, why you expect a child to be able to do it?
Exactly.
If you're not willing to get down there with a child to say, okay, let me clean the bathroom today, you go handle this one, or we move around. It allows for the child to see that you are giving them space to learn, but also that you're not dumping on them.
Yes.
That household responsibility is shared.
Yes.
And they will want, that's
Yes.
inclusive. That's being inclusive. The children will want to come be a part then of cleaning time, or taking care of keeping the house. They will have pride in it because the load not dumped on them alone.
Yep. Yep. And Sema wrote a comment on there. I don't know if
Unfortunately, if I try to put it on, it kicking me out of the system
from
because
Sema
it was not.
Sema
No, 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 no,
Sema
no, no,
comment.
no, no,
Oh,
no. I'm talking about a chat.
So
okay.
I'm
Unfortunately, so yeah,
wondering,
You can put it on the thing afterward for people can
yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Later,
oh, let me see something. I'm wondering
Can
if
you see if you can post Sema comment up there?
yes.
Sema.
Rhoda is here. Rhoda T. House. She said we as parents have to protect what we practice, what we preach, and be good example at home. Of course, and someone
hmm,
if you have a child that has ADHD or other behaviors problem, can make parenting a bit difficult because first you have to understand what ADHD or other behavior is all about. Someone, you are right. I had a situation like that before, Didi, and not knowing the problem of the child.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
therefore you feel the child is just being rude and
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful. So you
Yes.
vent when a child is misbehaving. You understand? So that's true. You have to know the behavior of your child. Some children get diagnosed at a age that you be like, oh, she's a teenager, she's just rude. But not knowing
hmm,
this child is struggling with something. I had
hmm,
an
Yes.
experience before. I didn't know, right? That country, didn't I tell you about this? I didn't
hmm,
know. When I found out she was already a teenager. So now we have to adjust.
hmm.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to adjust how
Yeah.
to discipline her.
Yeah.
You understand? We have to adjust how to discipline her. So Dakote just put it on here.
Do
So
you
I'm gonna
see?
share it.
Can
I'm
y'all
gonna
see
share
it?
it. Yes, I can see it. Don't worry, I'll put it on in a bit. So let me
Okay.
I
add it
can
to the
see it.
screen. There
And
you
don't
go.
forget, parents.
It's right
Hello.
there.
Okay. Y'all see it, right?
Jojo, you were saying something?
No, I was just saying we shouldn't forget, like, to for example, we the thing is about bringing our children out today so they can be better in the future. You see your daughter dressed and she ready to go out. You see your son, you want to look at him and tell him how handsome he is, how he looks up, those things. Oh my God. We think
Compliment.
it is little things, but that those things that you come up with today, as soon as I dress, I calm down. My kids are all over me. My boys,
Mhm.
oh mommy, you look so beautiful, because that's something you have to start with them. So tomorrow when they go on their wife, we have a problem with our men day today. You
Mhm.
dress in the middle, even see what happened.
Mhm.
You put on something different, they don't even know, they don't even notice it, because they
Mhm.
were not brought up that way and they're refusing to learn that. So you want your kid tomorrow, you want your son to come out to be able to love on his wife, to compliment her, tell her how beautiful she is, how to notice things on her. You want your daughter to be the same. So we forget about those things. The children get ready for school, they go, all right, bye. Tell you, oh
Yes.
my God, you look beautiful. I just want us to remember stuff like that. To continue telling our children how to look, how, things like that.
So we have the chat out there. Definitely you can reiterate on it, and then we can go to another comment.
Okay. So before I learned to work and be a working parent, in a sense that parenting, like you said, is something that you 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 relearn as you go, right? On different stages. The thing you did at 6 with a child may not work at 12, right?
Yes,
I realized that my parenting background, where my parents came from, they were very authoritarian. And in the authoritarian parenting household, when I open a child like that, y'all can see it, right?
it's
Oh,
too little. I can't
it's
see
too,
this. I
yeah.
can't see
But
anything.
I don't know if the audience can see it, but it's a little
I
too.
see it by a little. I can't read anything.
Really, even with me opening it up.
Hold
I
on.
can't. Maybe after the show, if I go on the page, I
Okay, you
might be
can
able
see
to
it.
open it. Can
Can you
someone
see
here
it,
say
Blair?
Yeah,
yes if
let's
they
get
can read it?
feedback from the audience.
Can you guys see the chat? Just
Can
say
you guys
yes,
read
yes.
it? Are you able to read it?
Can y'all see me going in and out?
Nobody's responding. No, yes.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I
I
see
will
you
about
talk
said
somebody.
about it
no.
then later on.
Somebody said no, but the chat is here, and we will just share it later on. So they're
Yes,
going to
that's
Okay.
the
just,
thing. No, you will not be
yeah.
able
All right.
to read. The people will not be able to read it. It's just you have to put it on the page, and people can go back in.
Yeah, so what we would do, we'll do that
Okay.
later after the show. I can just remove it for now, okay?
Okay. Well, I will just talk about it briefly, then we can continue, right? So what
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
describing is the bottom.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Jojo. I'm sorry.
She will
Definitely,
come by
I'm
your
sorry.
deputy.
You can come back.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, honey. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Jojo. She'll come back.
While we waiting for Tekoti, I just want to touch base on this. That a lot of the parents that we do. The next thing that I want to talk about is making a promise with the kids. You have to be very, very careful for the promise that you make with your kids. A lot of us make the promise, and when the time comes, and we just brush it off that we did not make the promise. I can wait for you to talk about this. Comment that.
Okay, I read it. This is from Basa Mayu. She says, "So true, says Jojo. God has entrusted me to be a mom of six. All my kids are very open with me. Everything that happened both home and in school, we talk about it. On our drive home, we talk about their day in school, and they all ask me, Mommy, did you have a good day at work? We need to encourage, we need to engage with them every day. I include my kids in everything I am doing, and because of that, my kids are excited to explain new experience, new
Yes.
explore new things. They will come up to me asking, Mommy, what can I help with, if we trust our kids well? Thank you so much, and we
Thank you.
do
Thank you.
agree with you.
Yep. And
Okay.
as parent, I want you to ask yourself these questions. When you go to work or you go places, your children call you. Do you call them? That one of the things you want your children to be able to call you and ask you about your day at work when you at work. If they're not doing it, then maybe you're not doing it to them. You have to teach your children this because come on, we're preparing them for the future so they can be able to do these things with their partners tomorrow. Make your children to call you at work or whatever. Mom, how you doing? How's work? Is everything okay? and you do the same. Those things we take it to be simple, they are not. Like what I was talking about, the promise. We promise our kids, and when the time comes, and we can, oh, you know what? When you do this, I will buy you that tennis shoes. Oh, you can wear me already. You will force me to do it. Promise is a debt. That's the way most of the time when I was taking my children on trips, when I'm planning the trips, I don't tell them. When you ask my kids, a lot of the time they will know we're going on the trip the night before we leave. Because I got to prepare. I don't want to promise and always tell them no, no. So when you promise the children this thing and the day you are unable to give it to them, they will understand that yes, mom always do it when mom promised me. Dad always do it, he promised me. This time, mom ready to have it, that's why. But when you always not making up or keeping up to your promises, the day you're ready to have it or can't do it because of mistakes, the children are going to know that's your behavior. So you have to make the children to understand that even when you make mistakes, they will know you made mistake. They shouldn't know that that's your habit. That's what you always do.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that I could not be heard.
No,
So you're
we could hear you, but I mistakenly kick you out.
oh, okay. So the chat.
I was trying to remove the chat and I remove you.
Okay,
I'm
okay. So
sorry.
where did I stop on it?
You was just talking about the chat
You are
just
just from the beginning, just the beginning.
Okay,
You're
so it's
talking
on
about the
my
bottom.
phone. Sis will share it, but the bottom right corner, that is the authoritarian style, right? Most of our parents come from that. That's the do as I say. Don't ask me question. I'm the Lord and order of everything,
mm-hmm.
and what it shows you what happens in that relationship, right? When you operate from there, you are you've high in expectation. I expect this to be done, right? Very low in giving guidelines, very low in giving clarification, right, to the child, for the child to understand what is being said to them. You all about rules, rules, rules. It's all about being forceful, being rigid, right? Black or
Mm-hmm.
white. And it is punishment related. So it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like you do what I say or I punish you and that's it, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you will find that parenting style has very low warmth. So the children don't learn that emotional connection and emotional intelligence. The room is not created for that in when you use that parenting style, okay? So that
Mm-hmm.
is called authoritarian, okay? When you move over to the left side of the chart, it is called uninvolved, the uninvolved parenting style. No expectation, very little rules. I don't really dare. I don't really check in with the child. The child just living in the house. It can move into becoming neglectful because you're not seeing when the child needs need to be met because you're not paying attention. You have competing priorities where maybe that you rather go out on the weekend when you're off than sit at home with your children and or do sports with your children. You rather go do your own thing, So and what you will find from there is then you will find children that they know their parent don't care, so they raise themselves, right? And then you have a problem at a certain age when you feel like, oh, the child don't listen. Well, you started the foundation, or this is the way you operate with them, so they're not used to that. They're not used to you wanting to be a parent, right? When you go up top, left hand side, you will find the permissive parenting type. Permissive parenting type is very pleasing. The child can do whatever they want, little or no rules, right? Very overindulgent sometimes, right? The accepting of anything goes, right? There's no boundaries, right? And they avoid confrontation with their children. They want their children to feedback. So what you see is that relationship is high in relational, almost like friendship kind of thing, and very low in structure when you use that style with parenting, right? To the right high end, the right column on the right side at the top is authoritative style. This one teaches that when you work from this style or this model, it is very responsive as opposed to reactive. That you have high expectations, yes, but you have clear standards and guidelines. You give room for clarification, that the child can ask questions if they're not understanding what the rules mean, right? That it is democratic in a sense. Let's take vote on certain thing that can happen in their house here, because you make them feel like they have a voice as well, right? It is flexible, where we talk about apologizing to children when we wrong them. This style teaches that you can be flexible. Let children see that you're not always perfect, but you're able to come back and be flexible in your thinking, right? It is problem solving. So pretty much you have to, let's figure this out as we go. And it is responsive and very warm. What you find is, you get, when you raise children from that perspective, you raise children who are very balanced, right? Children who understand where their boundaries stop and where other people's boundary is. There is respect, right? That the things they know from home, they use that when they go in the community. So when you hear the comments of, oh, your child is so well raised, so respectful, and it's just showing that you are using a certain parenting style with that child, that they feel comfortable inside and outside of the home to just be themselves, because they know that you got their back.
Yeah. And I will kick out a point here again for the parents that have a home where the both parents are always arguing in front of the children, or they are arguing in the room or whatever place, and the children can hear. I want us to know, and I want us to remember this. When you argue in front of the children, or if the children hear you guys arguing, you don't just think after the argument everyone go their way. A lot of us just do it. You can't do that. You always have to later on go and communicate with the kids and make them know what was said, how bad it was. That is not a good thing. I will just say a little example about me. When my husband and I argue in front of my kids, and I say some words or he says some words, after later on I go and have meeting with my kids. The words that your dad just said were very wrong. A man should never say that to a woman or anyone. You hear me, Tyrell? You hear me, Tarias? That's very wrong. The way you heard him talking, that was wrong. And the way you heard me saying that to your dad, that's wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Tadina, know what you have to make them understand. The things that you said to one another, it is not okay. And I'm not saying it's okay for us to speak in front of the children. It's wrong. We should never, never argue in front of our children. But whenever an argument happens that you notice that the children heard it, never just let it go. You should always, always talk to your children and tell them the wrong that were in there that shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Says Jojo, to add to that, I like that you bring this up. This is that being human, right?
Yes.
I had an example of a woman that came to me for therapy, right? Literally, she was stuck in a place. She said, my parents never fought. And now I'm married. But my husband Stafford, I can leave so fast. And he thinks I have avoidant problems and I need to figure it out, right? She never learned to see her parents solve things after this fight. In fact, they didn't fight around her period. So she didn't grow up knowing that when you marry, people can bump heads. So when she got into her marriage, she struggled to even know how to operate in that space, right? Where then she had me and her then started learning like healthy, like conflict resolution and stuff like that, right? Back and forth coaching her to where she was able not to go back in and feel confident. So it is healthy in a sense. Now, not to do the absolute tearing down of each other, but sometimes let the children see this back and forth, but let them come back and see that you are able to resolve. Yep. Because what happens when that opportunity is not given, our children internalize this stuff then. It's there, they're thinking about it, but they can't talk about it and they're wondering. That's how they start having relationship, almost like questions about, so that how it's gonna be when, how it's supposed to be, because nothing is explained to them. A lot of us grew up that way, where we left homes with not one relationship skill. Besides, I let you, you let me, kind of we do it all with together, right? And the conversations when I had in our households about dating, about respect, about and how someone should treat you, and those conversations when I had, or when I shown where when mom and dad looked like they had an argument. They came back and they made up. They came back and they apologized and they explained things to the children that this is not the appropriate way. We didn't go about it the best way, but we were sorry and we're learning. So yes, Sister Jojo, that was important when you brought up.
Yeah. So we will go on bringing us some comments from our audience, but I just wanted to hit one thing before we get into that. Like you were saying about your parents, like my dad, I have never seen my dad swear. So I struggle with that up to today. If my husband and I we talk and he hits his teeth at me, oh, I take it like he had crushed the whole house down. I just cannot take nothing like that from any man. And I feel like no man should even do that to someone. You shouldn't swear at a woman you say you love, and the woman shouldn't swear at the man also. So, like you said, we see the things that we grow up with, they affect us a lot of time. So, Muku, let's put our audience into stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Who wants to read his Wookie comment?
I can take it.
Okay.
Miss Wookie says, so true, Jojo. We really need to be examples about doing chores, and then children will be willing to do chores without a frown. Most times, I do join in to help my children with their chores. We do it together while we communicate about what's going on in their schools and with their friends. And I have learned a whole lot from my kids and some of the troubles going on in their schools with some of their peers. My kids are so open to me and share with me daily share with me daily what's going on in their school. I believe that I would say school at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have to create spaces that our children can come home. I can know everything that going on in my child's school, who was bad today, who went to a teacher office, and the behaviors that happened, and why. In the other day, something came up, right? There was an incident at school where apparently a girl had texted. She intended to send news to somebody else, but sent it to the wrong person, and it spread, right?
Hmm.
And that was an opportunity for me and my daughter to talk about why it is not always safe and why that shouldn't even happen, right? And why you wait in your life to start engaging in situations like that. And I kind of picked her brain to see what she thought. She said, yeah, I kind of felt bad for the girl because then, everybody made fun of her and she hasn't showed up to school. And so we talk about not putting yourself deliberately in situations that you're going to become a target, right? Not buying into peer pressure, because if a boy have to tell you send me nude pictures, that is not the appropriate thing. But it took that conversation for her to say, "Woo, I got cheese for you today," because I actually encountered to tell me. I said, "What happened?" But right, we talk and the whose comment did I just read when you talk about doing chores? By the time you will hear about your children, what's going on in their lives, you will hear about the things that they are struggling with just from having that conversation or doing chores with them, being human with them, period.
And another thing, raising our somebody's from raising our teenagers. I tell you, I think I told you, Jojo, I got a Camille had got a iPhone for Christmas, right? 14, whatever, very expensive. So we had to create a contract. We had to create a contract. It might sound weird, but we had to create a contract. And in that contract, we told her just how this phone can bring joy to you, it can bring sadness to you.
Of course.
If you receive any unknown messages or any messages that are inappropriate, you need to report it. In this form, you cannot stay. We gave her all these different conditions. And we told her to sign it. I know it might sound crazy. I mean, I video record the whole thing. She was mad. I said, as evidence. So if I lost the paper you signed, I have it on video. And she know that this phone has to be off at a certain time. She knows that this phone voicemail cannot be changed. Password cannot be changed. We have to monitor that. That's another thing when it comes to these gadgets that our children have. They do a lot of things on it. So it has to be monitored, and she knows that. She know that, and we got if your first violation, what happened? Second, what happened? Third, you lost your privilege. You understand? So
Yeah.
definitely communication. So Basa Ma, you say so true.
Pastor
E-
said,
Basa Ma. So true when even when you're having a bad day, they feels it as well. Learn to always communicate and tell them what's going on, the wrong and right. Yeah, of course. They will, you know. Oh, mhm. Who taking this?
okay, I can take that. She said, raising five boys and one girl. I have to tell my boys at this early age that when a woman is loved, the home is peaceful, and
Mhm.
woman is the one that God has blessed to carry children. So they have to love and care about their only sister, and the same goes to her. She has to love her brothers as well. When you engage your children, when you engage your children, you learn a lot from them as well.
You know, I had a joke the other day. It's not funny, but I mean, that 3-year-old. We were talking, me and my brother, about children, and he was telling me how our dad yelled at his son. I mean, yes, my nephew was being inappropriate in, what he was doing. So I told him, I said, I said, he already know the two that I get over here, which is the twins, right? Because my son kind of, he sees the world differently from the other two children, right? So in that instant of yelling, where grandpa yelling, he would turn and say, "Grandpa, why are you yelling? Apologize to me." To
Mhm.
him, that's easy. He does that to me, where he says, "Mom, why are you yelling? Now say sorry to me."
My children do
You-
that because I'm very loud
Yes,
They
and
say
I'm
you
very
don't have you don't
communicative.
have to yell. Calm down. You
I
yes.
said,
don't have to
yeah,
yell.
yeah.
The girls, they will look at me like I'm losing it. And they do like that. Then when I catch myself, I come up. But him in that moment, he do like that. Why are you yelling? Now say sorry to me. And when I can apologize and acknowledge him, because in that moment, that's what he's asking for, that his
Mhm.
feelings has been hurt. He need to be acknowledged. Once I can do that, he comes down, then we can talk. But until then, he giving me that look like, no, 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 sis, I'm not the reason you're that upset. Bring it
Mhm.
down a notch.
Yeah.
Yep. And I will bring out another thing about my daughter and I. Sometimes, the way you behave for the children, they will do some things that will make you to feel like, yes, I'm ready bringing these children all right or wrong. Okay. My daughter, I think she talks about me a lot in school. How, most of the kids will say, oh, I can't talk this to my mom. We can't do this or whatever. And she just tell, oh, me and my mom talk this and me and my, oh, they. So it came out at the place where, well, I live in B Lake. Majority, the city we black going through, the white going through a lot too. Okay. And because she said a lot of the things, so the kids have a lot of the things, questions to ask, but they're not able to ask them. And they notice that they're not telling them, my mom and I taught this. So when they notice this to talk to that teacher a year and a half ago, it was something where they decided to ask me if I was waiting to have a video with them where they all can ask me questions and if I'm able to answer them because they learn that Avina. I'm telling you. So I was able to get on that video for about 30 to 45 minutes, and the kids were asking me questions. They were asking me questions like, I'm telling you, the children in Tavina were what, in the ninth grade? The children asking me, what if your daughter get pregnant at this time? How will you respond to that? Those were kind of hard questions. They were asking, will you neglect your child? Will you still love your child? What if your child will give up? Oh, tough questions. And I was able to answer them the best way I could. But I felt proud later on that, my daughter able to talk to me, that she explained the way we behave. She explained that other kids they wanted me, that the school were able to let me to talk on video, for them to be able to, because I couldn't go there, that, Tavina would record me and then their questions while they asking. And I felt really proud. It was like a year and a half. And that's what I'm talking about. When you open to the kids, that's what happened. My kids always say, like, mom, no matter what happened, you talk about it and then you just smile.
Yep.
When your daughter look at you and say, mommy, if I grow up tomorrow and I have of you, I will be the best woman in the world. You want your kids to say things. They will tell. She tell me, mommy, you yelling, you need to calm down. You don't have to yell like that.
Oh, they can
So I
rebuke
think
a lot of
the
times when we start out yelling.
and I
You
will
don't have to
apologize,
yell, calm down.
sorry. I would be like, sorry. The last time I was sitting and she's on the other side, and I asked her, I didn't want to stress, and I'm asking her to come and get the comb. She was like African parent. I said, I understand, I'm just tired. Can you just please give my comb? So those things happen. So when she criticized me over something, I know I tell her, I'm like, yeah, I will agree to her, and if there's something wrong, I do with my kids know. I will apologize.
Mhm.
If I say something wrong, I will apologize right
Mhm.
there. And if I even say something that's I will you talk to my children right in front of me and put something bad, I will cast you out right in front of that. So I cast that out in the name of Jesus. There will not be that. You have to say those things because those things go after the children.
And I want to share also a humbling experience for me, right, with my daughter. Again, sixth grade, we rack it. Yeah, we really rack it, but I learned a lot, right? I had a moment where I was to work one day. I get a phone call. The office woman say, "Your daughter here, and we don't have school today." So I said, "Oh," I said, "What do you mean she there? You don't have school today?" She said, "I will let you talk to her." Right? She passed the phone on. Having came on the phone, and she said to me, I said, "How you got there?" She said, "I walked." This little girl spent over an hour, sixth grade, walking. And I was pissed, I was hot. But I left everything. I went to go get her. When I picked her up and I said, "Why didn't you call me?" She said, "Mommy, I woke up. I forgot we didn't have school today. I thought I missed the bus. I walked because I was so afraid to call you because you always tell me the day you missed the bus. Ain't no that threatening behavior. And when I put fear in her, that the day she actually thought she
Oh,
would be in trouble, she didn't call me. She walked
yes.
hour to school. Sixth
Oh,
grade.
wow.
Sixth grade, right? That thing put tears in my eye that day because then I said, whoa, am I being a
Whoa.
reflection of what I want? And I'm
Hmm.
talking and I say I want to tear up because
Mhm.
that day it made me cry to say, whoa, does my daughter fear me that much that instead of even calling to say, "Ma, I think I missed the bus, so can't carry me to school," she put herself
She's
in
not able.
anything could have happened to her. And it
Yep.
was in that moment we
Yes.
came up with something, right? I said, when these happen, let's come up with something. And when you call me and you say a certain thing, that I know to take my yelling general hat off, because in that time I was still doing the yelling thing. I'm still learning it, right? And to put my listening hat on. And the phrase she came up with says, "Mommy, I need you to just listen to me."
Yeah.
So that lets me know you need that thing also. She's asking for something right now. That situation humbled me. I felt hurt because it was like, wow, and I raised a child to be so afraid of simple thing like missing the bus because it was like, and again, single mom, I'm trying to raise this child on my own. I want her to get to school and be there and not be missing her bus. So, I instilled a whole thing of fear in her. And I realized it was not because that day I saw that she didn't call me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We had a wonderful time, and it's a privilege to be able to share our experiences with our children. It's a privilege to be able to hear from our audience. And mind you, a lot of us will learn from this because a lot of us, most especially us African, that's our behavior. If we yell, solve problems. If I tell you one day, Jamil, the oldest one came to tell me that her friend, I think she was in sixth grade at the time, that her friend is going to be going to summer school because her grades were not good over the years. So she have to go to summer school or repeat. Girl, who told that little girl that Jack can't tell me nothing? I said, I dare you to come to me one day on the school. Jack called me and tell me, say you got to repeat a class. She said, Mommy, that's why I don't like to say anything to you. Why are you yelling at me for no apparent reason? Seriously, seriously. With Jamil, it was tough.
That's a good
It
one.
was tough love with Jamil. To the point that Jamil can tell Camille and Malachi says, Mommy had exhausted all her training, all her discipline on me. Anything negative, I would be yelling. Did you watch Steve Harvey's Don't Trip? He ain't through with me yet. And he talk about black parent. See me not
Yeah.
take. And the day you can't tell me say, oh, let the teacher just call me and tell me say you got to the point one day she did something and said they about to tell call her mind. What she told them? Let me clean the bathroom. Let me scrub the floor. Y'all please don't let my mom come here. Shut up.
Oh
I'm
my
telling
God.
you. Well, I have learned, to be honest, I have learned, your first child will go through everything with you. The middle one don't give a damn. That's the one that can tell me, mommy, calm down. Why are you yelling like that? Calm down. Why are you yelling? Oh man, then she'll walk away. So I have learned over the years, yelling don't solve the problem. And that's our mentality as African parents.
Yeah.
As African parents. Like me and you would talk to our teenagers, our teen daughter about boys and about sex. In Africa, our parents make it look like a taboo. You understand? They make it look like
Yeah.
a taboo. How in the hell you gonna tell a little girl if a boy shake your hands, you're gonna get pregnant? So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna let him shake my hands. I'm gonna raise my hands up and lay right there and tell him to do what he got to do. You understand?
Oh my God.
Oh yes, so we ought to communicate with our children. I know sometimes there are uncomfortable situations. There are some uncomfortable conversation. We still have to have it. I
And
was
I want
telling
to, and the thing is, we have to know that in nothing to be. Let me tell you the things that the children know.
we even know some. They already know it.
These children listen to everything. My daughter will be the one to tell me, "Did you see this? Mommy was just on the news. Did you see that?" She read
Mhm.
all the stuff. So if you think you don't want to tell them, and you think no, you need to tell them about all these things and
Yeah.
make them to know the bad one. Or it might be cool, but it's not at your age right now. That's not
Mhm.
appropriate for you at this time. You
Exactly.
want to go. You want to explain. I tell my children everything, especially the boys, not only the girls. You don't want some today. Your children go play with somebody touching the ball, but I tell them everything.
Mhm.
And I tell them when you're out there, when you see the kid on the other side and the boy dressing like a girl, don't mock at them. Leave them alone because you want to let the children to respect one another. You don't want them to tease someone for other things. Let the parents deal with it. You just know what I taught you. You know what right, what wrong. Okay? If the
Yeah.
parents
You know
accept that,
talk. Yeah.
we just, we really got to try to bring our children up so they can be better. I'm telling you. You
Like
see
poor
our men and
Malika.
women these days.
Like poor Malika. One day Malika woke up. Here we just standing. Here we just standing. He pushing the wee down, pushing the wee down. He can't go down. He can't, mommy, help me knock it. He said, mommy, it's just standing. Help me knock it. Help me knock it. I said, Malika, mommy can knock that one. Mommy can knock that one. So Jack will lay down. Yeah, papa, it will go down. They attacking. I said, papa, I want me, you or me. It will happen. Because why I know about boys, the things that mommy, we standing, mommy, when I go time, when I go, mommy, knock it. He came to me, you can imagine coming to me and saying, mommy, I told you, I said, I wish I could record it on your
And
graduation day. I
a
put it
lot of
up.
those things, I
But
don't know if it happen in all the schools. It's good that they
Mm,
bring those videos up and they let the parents to
mm.
sign the paper. I
To watch
always
it, yeah.
let them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Watch
parents
it,
say,
yeah.
"Child, I let my children watch." So my boys,
Mm.
I watch.
Oh,
My
yes,
child,
I let it. Mm-hmm.
you know all the thoughts I've been out for small when they start bringing those videos. I always sign the paper. It is okay for them to learn this stuff. Let them watch those videos. Don't deny the kids of learning things about themselves.
Yes, so true.
I will take
Yes,
this next
exactly.
one. Pastor,
Okay.
thank you. Pastor Man, thank you for being a contributor today on the show.
Yes,
Your
really,
comments and
thank you so
insights.
much.
Love it. Yeah, you rock. Next time, come
You
join me.
you you
You come
actually
on
you
this
you you actually a
morning.
diamond. You actually a diamond fan today. Don't be surprised when you get your diamond in your inbox.
Yeah, so you said that that's the best thing we can give them, introducing God and having them talk to Him for themselves. It goes a long way. I started praying with my first, and now the rest of them are doing the same, praying and worshiping God because this was what I grew up with. I am passing that to my babies. It's a joy to see them worship God. I'm not a perfect mother, but having God is everything that helps me with my parenting.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
love that. And you
Amen.
Yes,
know,
Lord.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen.
Lord.
It's the best thing ever I did. But it's the best thing a parent should all, no matter,
That's why the Bible said
you
in
have to take your children to church.
Proverbs, train
Oh my
up a
God, we have
child in
to
the way he should go.
go.
When he is old, he will not depart from it. I used to hate that voice. Growing up, when they discipline me, what Proverbs 22 say, yeah, but John, in the way you should go. When you're old, you're not. I hated that voice, but guess what? That voice taught me a lot. Being a parent.
Yes,
Mhm.
we should bring our children, let them know. Or like I said one time, I was saying it on Facebook Live, few months or whatever. I came in the house shouting, yelling with my loud voice on the phone, and Tabina like, "Mommy, quiet." I said, "I got my. When you talk to me, they should like, I'm on power steady with my friends. They
Ah.
got the power steady and they talk. If you tell Tabina something and she didn't understand it, she's on it. Google. Don't say nothing about God when the children, my daughter will go find it up. So we really want to bring these children up, knowing the truth about God, knowing what is right and what is wrong. You know, Tavina would be telling me a lot of things I didn't know about even the Muslim culture. But because they talk about it and the Muslim bring this and they bring this, the one and our Muslim, they educate one another, you know, you will be surprised. You want your kids, my daughter educate me so much about the Bible, I wouldn't even believe it.
Mhm. I was
Tavina will tell you something about the Bible, you'll be like, where was it all along? I didn't read that part.
I was
So
just
it's good
telling you,
for us
I
to
was
bring
just
the
telling
children
her
up.
today. We were
Thank you,
talking this.
Pastor. Thank you.
We
You
were,
were so great. Thank you. You know,
we were
she
talking.
have Bible study with her friends all the time. I didn't tell her to do that, but she
Mhm.
know we do that. She know we talk about the Bible. You know, one
And the
time her
kids
dad told
were
her she was
Google. They were Google. Huh.
yeah. One time she her dad argued because she was talking something about the Bible. And I think she was talking to her friends and explaining stuff. And her dad came, my husband now her biological father now, Meyer told her, say, oh, no, a woman not supposed to be telling people preaching the word of God. A woman only man should be a pastor or whatever. That girl caught that man down. She hit every Bible voice. And then it rushed to the place where it was almost like they were about to battle. I was like, you're done. That is it. You know, so it's good to educate the kids. So tomorrow, when someone try to look, some people know how to frame the Bible, take one Bible verse and turn it around the wrong way.
And you know, our children, they will Google every information. I was just telling what's her
Oh yeah,
name. Dagonte and I got a child that share the same name, right? The other day, Malachi came to me, Mommy, do you know the meaning of my name? How will I not know the meaning of your name? I give you the name. So I pretended. I said, no, I don't. He said, oh, Mommy, my name, the meaning of my name is messenger of God. Messenger of God. I said, there you go. So are you a messenger? Oh, yes, Mommy. I'm not going to do. I like, thank you, Lord. At least you know. So that's one of the best things we can give our kids,
yeah,
you know, fear of God, because the Bible even commanded us to do that. He say, suffer the little children to come unto me, forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of God. And he also say, train up a child in the way he should go. When he's
exactly.
old, he will not depart from it. Then he say, parents, provoke not your child to anger. And he said, children, obey your parents in the Lord, that your days may be long. But then he said again, provoke not. Even though I told the children to obey you.
Yeah.
But you know that when the children provoke you, something else will happen. So
Parents don't provoke the
you cannot
children. We
provoke your
provoke
children to
our
anger.
children to act. We provoke them all the time. You know, I mean, good topic, man. Yep.
Yes.
And thanks,
Mhm.
man, audience, you guys. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you.
amazing.
If you can come on, the comment, like I said, like we said, we will always make you guys into this. That's why we continue. We're not going to leave any comment behind. I think we got one on the screen.
That's Sis Walkie. To God be the glory. Thank you, ladies, for coming up with an amazing discussion. We do need a lot of this discussion very often in our community. Sometimes even bringing the kids on here if they are with it. Of course, I just told Jamila, I said, "Can you come on?" The guy, she said, "Mommy, look at me, look at me." I said, "Okay, another time." Our children, we want the Queen Travina to come on and
Mhm.
express
Oh
how
my
her mom
God.
disciplined. I definitely will want our niece to come on. I want Jamil to come on and say what my mom, how she struggled and how she brought me out. You understand? These are things we need because if other children hear these things, they be encouraged. When other parents hear these things, they be like, oh, so this is where I've been going wrong. I think I should rectify it. We are all here to learn from each other. We are all here to learn from each other. For some reason, I'm keep getting this feedback. I don't know. So, yes, it's working. And then we got another comment. Rich Bridge is watching actually all the way from Nigeria. She said, great comment. Thank you for coming on. Yes. And Jamo, nice topic. You lit, oh. You lit. The usher lit.
I know.
Jamo, you the usher, you lit.
Usher
I would just,
again, Papa,
I would
you
just
just
say,
forgive us.
you
Just
know,
forgive us.
we want to bring the children all right and let them to be able to, express themselves. I'm
Local
just going to say
princess,
a
a
little bit.
village girl for Vanessa. Amen. And
Yep.
yes, and who else? Favor got on. She said, "Thanks, lady. I learned a lot from this. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. And this is what we want. We want people to learn, and rectify our mistakes. And if you guys got a topic, you want to be a part of this, let
Yes,
us
bring up a
let
topic
us
and we'll discuss it.
let us in our community, in our African community, because we got other nationalities that watch us. Let us make a difference. Let us make a difference. We talk about abuse, we talk about women rights, we talk about men, we talk about parenting. Let us have a different platform that does not shake tables. Let us have a platform that we will come running to. I was just telling this girl, I was telling the other somebody had called me, I even, called Josephine. The person said, I want come on your platform to talk about it because you're talking about abuse. I want people to know about abuse. Let this platform be our family platform. This platform has been here for a while, since 2019. But who want to come? We're not shooting people. So at least we got positive people out there who wants to learn positive things, and we will be able to learn. Having a social worker that is ready to come and at least enlighten our minds on some
Yeah.
things, on some
Thank
rules and
you.
regulations,
Yes,
so we
thank
can
you.
fall into trouble. So it's open. And we say, ladies, thanks for being a part. Jojo, you guys can do your closing comment, and then we can
Yeah,
call
I
it a
just want to say one quick thing before I do a closing comment that the fear that we put in the kids, we have to make the children comfortable. Like I would just say something quick about my family. One of my sisters would not allow her daughter to even talk to a boy. So she was talking to her, say, "Oh, I'm gonna take your phone. I heard you talking. It was a boy on the phone." And then the girl left there. Said, "Oh well." Enter Josephine let Tavina talk to boys, and Tavina even have her boyfriend. So she got mad. She called me and she was like, "Oh, you got Tabina talking to a boy?" I said, "Yes, she talked to boys. I mean, she should have boyfriend and girlfriend." "Oh, well, I told my daughter not to, and now she's telling me that." I said, "Look, you just think we want to educate the kids. Like I educate my daughter. She had a boy that she talked to. She said he's my boyfriend, and we laugh about it." So after some months, then they were not talking much. Then I asked her, "Princess, why happy I can hear you talking to your boyfriend?" She was like, "Mommy, he can't tell me that he wants to have sex. All he thinks they're having sex." I told him, absolutely, the relationship over. And she ended it on her own because of that. She said, "Mommy, do you know how many of the girls pregnant now and the boys don't even call them? Do you know?" And he comes to, I told him, I said, "You can take your friendship. Boyfriend, girlfriend, we just going to talk now." So I was very proud of her.
It's
I didn't think that. I just said her to explain to her the things she shouldn't get into. I don't mind she calling someone boyfriend and communicating. That's okay. But no, I used to go and drop them to the zone. I don't know what is zone. She and the boys, I pay and they go to do their something boarding.
mhm.
And if the boarding, we get in the car, we come back.
Yeah.
Stop putting fear, educate the kids. And she did this all on her own. That was like, thank you. She said, Mommy, it's like 4 other girls pregnant.
Mhm.
And the boys are so rude to them.
Mhm.
Each time I told him, I said, no, we're done. Since I told him we boyfriend and girlfriend, he should never ask me that. And once he asked me that, I told him we're done. So, like I said, the reason I'm bringing it up, educate the children to death, putting fear in them. Tell them what not to do at this time.
Mhm.
Because those days will come. Those days will come, they will enjoy it.
Mhm.
Right now, tell them what not to engage in, and let them have, you know, make decisions, good decisions.
Yeah. Sis
Yeah.
Rona
So thank
says
you
we
guys.
all
Thanks
here.
everyone for coming. Thanks for your comments. Thanks
Yeah.
for everything. We love you guys. Give us topics that you want us to talk about, and we will talk about it. We'll engage you in everything.
Sis
God
Rhoda T.
bless.
Hub says, you all hit some very important points, ladies. Thank you. Having conversation with our children. Data is very important in this difficult time now that we are living. Yep.
Amen. Yeah. Good conversations. I stay on longer than I expected to, but when the conversation juicy, I like it.
I know, right?
So like the motivational stuff I put on says, if you sleep on your children, you're
Savina
gonna
had
be
appointment. She
a
already gave me the
tiger.
clock. Like,
So we'll see later, and thank you
Yes,
for coming
boss.
on. We'll see you guys next week, Saturday morning, which is this month in the morning now. At least for everybody to have the opportunity to, be a part of this on Saturday morning. So we love you guys. So we know at work sometimes Saturdays are chill days, so people can still
this
get on,
time, yeah.
like Dagon
We'll
tea.
always come up with a day before the weekend. So please, y'all
Yeah.
know the schedule now. We're on the
Mhm.
clock. Ain't easy.
Yes.
Especially
So
with me working with the airline, we don't balance. Every month I have a new schedule. It's killing me.
So, guys, share. Please follow our page. The Let's
Thanks
Talk
for
About It
the
with
love. Thanks
Muku.
for the love.
Follow
Thanks for
our link.
the love. The
Y'all
love.
can
Thank
give
you,
us,
guys.
y'all give us stars now. Let's talk about hot today.
Send us
We
some
need a
stars
star,
so we
star,
can be able
star
to
for
help
the
some
children.
kids and
Hmm.
support other people. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes, yes.
Thanks
So,
for the love.
thank you so much. There gonna be any closing? Jojo gotta go because you gotta go to
Great
choir
topic.
rehearsal.
As always, thank you all. Share, share, share. Not for you, but someone you know, or maybe someone who may just come across it and be blessed with this today.
The next topic, actually, somebody from Nigeria is asking for the next topic. What we're gonna do? Just follow our page that say "Let's Talk About It" with
We don't
Muku
even know yet. We have to come
online
up with something,
TV.
or you can tell us what you think you want us to talk about. During the
So,
week, we kind of brainstorm about it and see what we can talk about.
and
But
if
if you
you
have
want
something, let
to,
us
if you
know.
want to be a part of this topic, just let us know you want to come on. And secondly, we do giveaway on this platform. It don't matter what country. Once you're in Africa, sometimes God laid on our heart to be a blessing. We can be. We just bless two people with $300. So follow our page, share our page, and you can be a part of the lucky winner. Our giveaway. Okay. So if you're in Nigeria, Ghana, West,
Say
any
you
part of
something
Africa.
juicy. What is that? What you say you're talking about? Tell us something that we can come about. What you think
Mhm.
juicy?
Now who's that?
Relationship?
Okay,
Oh no,
sis.
you're not worried. We're coming with a juicy interview.
You want us to
We
talk
need
about the
I'm
something
gonna leave
husband,
now,
cheating,
sisters. Y'all,
cheating
thank you for
wives,
having me.
or
I'm gonna
couple?
be.
Yeah, we
Oh,
will
but
come with something.
you know this girl. She's a Nigerian, but she lives in Liberia too. Yeah. Don't worry, we get something juicy. Don't worry, y'all bring the juicy coming for us. Y'all bring it. Don't matter what part of the world you're in. Just bring it and we'll talk about it. So we love you
Yeah.
guys so much with the love of God. We say thank you. Then this brings us to the end of our broadcast. And I don't know, we just love you guys. It was an awesome one. We say thank you for engaging and being a part of this whole conversation. We love you guys. Don't forget to follow our link. It's right here. Let's talk about it with Muku Online TV. Don't forget, this brings us to the end of our broadcast. Jojo, thank you. Have a blessed and fruitful a day. And we will
You
talk
too,
this
Christine.
week. And we will talk. Bye bye.
Bye.